The European Commission is reviewing the budgets of the Eurozone member states today, and all eyes will be on what it has to say about the controversial budget presented by Italy's coalition government. Joining me now from Brussels is our correspondent Maeve McMahon. Maeve, what do you think we're going to see today?
Well, the Italian government, Belle, have until noon today to respond, if you like, to a dressing down by the European Commission on their draft budget that they sent in back on the 15th of October for inspection. According to the European Commission, it's a little bit over-optimistic. It's predicting a growth of 1.5% in 2019, but the IMF and the Commission have already warned that they believe that growth would only be at 1%. The Commission is worried as well about the budget expenditure and the budget cuts that they have foreseen as well in their budget. And Pierre Moscovici, that's the economics commissioner from France, who's in charge of this file on behalf of the Commission. He was actually in Rome last week, and he said the ball was now in the court of the Italian government. He was open for dialogue, and if there was any problems with the budget, he would give then Rome some 3 weeks to respond. There'll be a Eurozone meeting as well on the 3rd of December where Italy's budget is likely to be discussed. And if the Commission and the Eurozone feel that it's not satisfactory, they could execute what's called the excessive deficit procedure, which could see Italy sanctioned. But we're likely to see this postponed because this is also political, and the European Commission might want to push this even until after the European elections next year.
If Italy's budget was rejected, how bad would that be for the country?
Well, I mean, their credibility is, of course, at stake, and their stability on the financial markets. In the last couple of weeks, we've already seen the markets fluctuate. We've also seen the European Central Bank's Mario Draghi send a strong message to the Italian government, telling them to calm down and believe in the euro as an economy. So a lot of concern, of course, there. All eyes will be on the Italians to see how they proceed. But I did speak to an economist the other day, Georg Stier, and he was obviously very concerned. And I asked him, did he think that Italy could be the next Greece? A question that many economists have been saying in the last couple of weeks. Let's take a listen to that economist from the ULB.
Italy is much worse than Greece. Just look at the numbers, look at the amount of the problem. On the other hand, that of course means that Italy actually has less power to really blackmail the rest of the Eurozone, simply because it's clear if Italy defaults, nobody could take the debts over. That was very different in the case of Greece. So it's unclear. The much larger extent of the problem actually might work in favor of the rest of the Eurozone.
And this is a major concern as well of Jean-Claude Juncker, that's the Commission President, who was Eurozone chief back during the debt crisis. He said recently that it was very hard to manage the Greek debt crisis. He does not want to see another one in Italy.